Welcome back, everyone. Better tech tips now, and today we're learning how to be safe from identity thieves.
So luckily, Stan Prager from GoGeeks is here to tell us how to stay safe. Hey, Stan. So this is on the rise?
Yes, it is on the rise, and it's a particularly important statement today because the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, just announced last week, so this is breaking news, that criminals can actually get your information in as little as 9 minutes after it's been posted to hacking sites. So identity theft happens really quickly, so you don't have any time to really react once your identity, once it's compromised because your identity's information's been taken.
So once it is compromised, that damage is done. But you're saying then whoever takes it will put it on the web, and it takes then after that about 9 minutes before it's everywhere.
So a lot of people imagine identity theft as one guy. He's going after Chris Pisano,
right? That's
or
how
Brittany
I think
Murphy,
of it.
right? But that's not how it is at all. What they're doing is going after everyone, and then they sell this to criminals who then post it on shared websites.
A list of, like a client list.
Yeah. So your social security number, your address, any information they can, passwords that you used for like Fluffy One, things like that they can then try to use to get into other data. So anyway, here's a few things that you can do, okay? I mean, if there's a breach at Sears or something and you use your card there, it's not a whole lot you can do about that,
right?
Okay? But here's what you can do to prevent your identity from getting. So first thing, we've talked about this 100 times, passwords. Make sure that you have good, strong passwords, capital letter, number, special sign like an ampersand or a pound sign or something. That's important.
And I know the answer to this, but I have to ask it because everything needs a password. What if you're only using the same password so you can remember? Good or bad idea?
Well, this is what everyone tends to do, and it's a terrible idea.
Of course, but you have to. Otherwise, you get
it's so hard.
50,000 different passwords.
Plus, you have to change a lot of them.
Right.
All
Well,
the time.
so my advice to people is use different, strong passwords for the important things. Right? If you're logging into Netflix or something, you don't necessarily have to guard that password.
But your bank.
But your bank, your credit cards, things like that. Okay, so that's important. The other thing is, they'll bug you when you go onto a secure site to answer these challenge questions, and you're usually like, oh God, I'm too busy, so you hit skip and move to later. This is a critical error. You want to do those challenge questions because somebody's going to need to know, who was the best man at your wedding, who was, what elementary school did you go to, things like that.
What if you do all those the same? Is that a bad idea?
Not necessarily. I mean, it could be perhaps, but I mean, in many cases, they're not going to have the same ones available at each site. I mean, it's really annoying. I get like, what was your first car? Or what is your
Who
favorite?
can remember?
Yeah, well, that's
what I'm saying.
But I do nonsensical. What was your first car? I'll put like grapefruit.
Right. Well, as long as you can remember.
So there's no way a hacker would ever think of that.
That's as long as you can remember that. I've had people try that strategy and then not remember, and they can't get into their own site.
Well, that's true.
Third thing, really important, is if they offer two-step authentication, do that. So two-step authentication is if it says you need a password, and then if somebody tries to log in on a different machine, it's going to want to send a text message to your phone.
Now I have a question for you on that, because I did that with Facebook, and then you can check where you're logged in on Facebook, and I was getting all these calls from Denver and the spam calls, and they lined up with everywhere that my Facebook was randomly logged into. So I actually took the second authentication off.
So it means that your password got hijacked by somebody. So the authentication wasn't the problem, it was your password was already compromised.
So somewhere there is another Brittany Murphy running around on Facebook.
Yeah, today isn't, there's a lot of Brittany Murphys, right?
There's a lot of them.
So if, one of the things that many people don't realize, and this is not really for today's show, but speaking of Facebook, if you get a friend request from someone who's your friend, that's a compromised hack. So if you click on that and accept their friend request, they're going to hijack your Facebook and get your password.
And that happens a lot.
It does.
Whoa.
Yes, it does. Exactly.
Yeah,
Whoa.
we need to get into that.
Yeah, so we'll do that another day.
All right, one more tip. We've got about 30 seconds.
Okay, so one more tip is if your computer is running slow or your password's been changed or something weird happens on there, it means you've probably been hijacked. So, get it looked at by a professional like GoGeeks or somebody else that you trust, but have somebody look at it. Don't just say, oh, it's no big deal, because there could be somebody mining your personal information right now off of your computer.
And every second counts, apparently. You have about 9 minutes.
About 9 minutes, that's it.
9 minutes too late.
Our 9 minutes, they're up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See you next
it's all
week.
over. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Coming up.